is the Business of Reselling podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Oman. Hey everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of the Business of Reselling podcast. This episode is going to be about how the last 3 weeks have gone for sales since I opted out of the eBay international shipping program. It's been an interesting few weeks. It's been an interesting year so far. Things have been super busy in our world. We've actually had a couple of weeks of pretty decent online sales, and I will get into the details of that a little bit because I think it's because I opted out of EIS. So we're expecting a reasonably good profit in March. But the really exciting thing is that we're moving closer and closer to having our permit applications ready to build our cabin. That's right. This year we are taking our many years of savings and awesome stuff that we've been putting aside and pouring it, like literally pouring it, into the foundation for a cabin that we'll be building this year in the BC interior on a piece of land that we've owned for over 2 decades. That story is going to be fun to document. I really hope that you'll follow it. If you want to, you'll have to make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, which of course is youtube.com/@Storagewarrior podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. And oh my goodness, if you would leave a comment, it would be just the most beautiful thing in the world. Anyway, my most recent video there is all about the cabin project. And once we break ground, which will probably be in the middle of June, I'm guessing, you're going to hear all about it. So that'll be pretty cool. So go check that out and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So let's talk about eBay international shipping. I've opted out. And if you want to hear all of the reasons why I opted out, you should listen to episode 64, which is the last episode I did. I will link to that in the show notes so that you can give it a listen. I have many, many reasons for opting out that are all legitimate, some very much based in fact and some very much based in feeling. Anyway, listen to all of that in episode 64. But now that it's been a few weeks since I opted out, which was like right around March 4th, I feel like I have some actual numbers to share. So let's look at the 3 weeks before I opted out of eBay international shipping versus the 3 weeks after I opted out by the numbers. So the first number I will give you is the overall sales volume before and after. That's 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after by the number of items sold. And I'm breaking it down from .ca and .com separately. If you've been listening for a while, you know I'm about 2/3 .ca and 1/3 .com right now. Before all the tariffs and stuff, I was like 90% or more on .com. But ever since the de minimis was removed last August, I've been leaning much harder into .ca. So anyway, about 2/3 .ca, eBay.ca, and 1/3 eBay.com. So anyway, so eBay.ca. 3 weeks prior to opting out of EIS, I had 80 sales on eBay.ca in those 3 weeks. In the 3 weeks after, I had 91. 90, okay, not statistically significant. The .com number is a lot more interesting. 31 sales in the 3 weeks prior to opting out of EIS, 65 sales in the 3 weeks after. So let's take that and then look at how it compares to the overall traffic, and I'm using impressions as the metric. So on .ca, actually, if you went back a few episodes on this podcast, you could hear about and I think I have some videos too on the YouTube channel where I was talking about the interesting phenomenon of my traffic going like way, 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 way up on .ca, and why I thought that was happening. And looking at impressions overall, comparing between eBay.ca and eBay.com, my eBay.ca traffic is still significantly higher, probably mainly because most of my listings are there. But anyway, let's look at this. So again, not a statistically significant difference on eBay.ca for the 3 weeks prior to opting out of EIS. EIAIO. I always want to say that when I'm talking about EIS. Anyway, I'll stop. 3 weeks prior, 2,313,714 impressions. 3 weeks after, 2,651,221. So about 350,000 more. Um, you know, Notable, but not huge. .com. Listen to this. 671,827 impressions for the 3 weeks prior to opting out of EIS. 1,892,532 impressions for the 3 weeks after. It's almost triple the impressions. Now, listing more on .com, which I talked about going back to on previous episodes, probably impacts this. I'm focusing more of my listing on the .com platform again. However, I've only increased the ratio of listings on .com versus .ca by about 2%. It was about 35% on .com and 65% on .ca before I opted out of eBay International Shipping, and today it's 37% and 63%. So I haven't made a whole lot of headway in that regards. So it's very interesting to me to see traffic increase so much on eBay.com when I wouldn't think that listing visibility on eBay.com would be impacted by being in EIS or not, because EIS is only for .ca listings. So I can't help but wonder if my participating in the eBay International Shipping Program in Canada was somehow limiting visibility for my .com listings as well. I really can't think why exactly that would be the case, but I can't account for the difference in any other way. I didn't increase my promoted listings percentage. I didn't run a huge sale. I mean, I pretty much always have sales rotating in several different categories at all times now. So I didn't run like a massive clearance sale or anything that would have affected that. I didn't do a huge blast of listing on .com. So I didn't do any of the things that would usually account for that kind of a boost in traffic. We're talking 3 times as much traffic over the same period of time. So I don't really know what to think about that. I just can't account for it any other way. And I'm really curious what you think. Like, why do you think that's happening? Is the correlation I'm seeing just my own confirmation bias? Let me know. I mean, I really am curious why this could be happening. So I'm pleased. I'm very glad that I opted out of eBay International Shipping. I do think that my sales have been better for this specific reason. As well, over the last, I don't know, it's like a week and a half or maybe more, um, there've been a lot of problems with the eBay International Shipping Program. I think with uh, the shipping amount being wrong, having like the wrong amount of tariffs applied, or not showing the rate to the to US buyers, which was for sure impacting sales for people in the program. Um, all of those issues, now that I'm not in EIS, I'm not paying as close attention to the glitches and things that are going on, but you couldn't ignore it because everybody who was participating in the program was having these issues and they were a big deal. And one of the reasons why people were so loud and upset about it was because eBay Canada seemed to be doing nothing to fix it. Now, they were working in the background. Surely they were working in the background. I think a lot of the issues have been resolved, although I do believe that eBay Labels is not showing correct rates as well. I almost never use eBay Labels, so I'm not sure, but I definitely did see some complaints about that happening, and I don't think that's been totally addressed. Supposedly, most of the issues with EIS are by now, but just the lack of accountability from eBay Canada about what was happening, the lack of transparency, the lack of communication, no public notices on the community boards, no emails out to sellers. You know, they just weren't talking about what was happening, what they were doing to fix it, what might have caused the bug, what other areas of people's accounts might have been affected that they might not have noticed, or things that they needed to check. It was just radio silence as usual. Like, again, and I don't want to just go on the same rant that I did in the last podcast episode, but I just do not understand why eBay Canada is like this. Like, I just don't get it. It's as if they're trying intentionally to sabotage eBay Canada so that sellers just go away. Well, we're not going away. Like, we're going to find a way through all of this with or without eBay Canada's help, because eBay is still going to be the number one platform for the kind of stuff that we sell. And they know that. And I guess that's why they just, it's like we're just staying in this abusive relationship. There is a new GM at eBay Canada. Ashley Lawrence is his name. I don't know much about him. I hope that he is able to shift and change the culture at eBay Canada, because it's embarrassing and it's cowardly. And I'm not afraid to say that publicly. As a 2-time eBay Canada Entrepreneur of the Year award winner, I can say for sure that the way that this company interacts with its sellers is, it's not just on the decline. It's like, it's got to be rock bottom. Like, it can't get worse. It can't get worse. Can it? I mean, I hope not. Anyway, my dog is in the background whining for dinner because he gets fed at 4:30 and it's 4:26, and obviously it is entirely unacceptable that I have not got up to make his food yet. So I'm going to do that, and that'll be the end of this episode. Tell me what you think. Like, I don't know, do you want more information from me? Like, what else can I share, that what's happening in my store to sort of like help you make a decision about whether to stay in the eBay international shipping program or not? I'm not telling people to opt out. I'm just saying, like, this, it has problems. And I believe that my opting out of EIS has been directly responsible for the increase in my sales over the past 3 weeks. Time will tell, because I was in the program starting last November. So I was in it for about 5 months. So until I have that 5 months of data to compare, or maybe even the same time period, like November to March last year versus November to March upcoming, maybe I won't be able to say for sure. But honestly, that's what it looks like to me right now. So I'm curious what you think. Leave a comment, let me know, like, subscribe, and do all the wonderful things to make the algorithm do the things so that more people can listen to this podcast. Have a great day, everyone, and talk to you soon.